How's everybody doing? I hope you're all doing well. Sorry I'm a little late on my video. I said I was going to put it out a day or so ago, but I just wanted to wait. There was nothing really going on that I could see happening right here. Obama's speech is here. I will probably put out my new video right here. Here's the date. This is a good one. I'm very excited. And of course, I can't wait to leave with you. We're all watching and waiting. But I'm going to put this part first because always people are want to know the dates that I'm watching. We are all watching. Now, this right here, the full moon right here. There's also an eclipse here. I will go over this in the end of my video. This right here is the week I'm watching right here, up until actually the first right in there. Hanukkah starts right here, the full moon. This right here would be the full moon. The new moon was here. It was spotted yesterday. I know that for a fact. I could show you. A lot of people have posted it. So that would be 14 days, 15, 16, 17, right in here. The 24th, right in here. This is also the day of the flood, the second month, as we've been talking about if we were a month behind. This also correlates the 17th day of the second month, which is right here. I've had people saying, yeah, the flood started the second month, the 17th day, which would be right in here. Okay. Rod said the 14th, but he told me that before the new moon. But this is still in this week time frame right here. Okay. Now let's get to what Obama said. Obama said this.
In my first term, we ended the war in Iraq. In my second term, I will win the war on Christmas.
I believe he was talking about his second term when he comes back. He will win the war on Christmas. Now, is this in the Bible? Yes, it is. Jesus talked about this. He has always said stuff about mocking Jesus, mocking Christians, always. Jesus said it right here. What king goeth make war against another king and not sit down first and consider the cost and be able with 10,000 to meet them that come against him with 20,000? This is in Luke 14. Now I'll play you the video because it shows you. You can play this video for yourself. John Matthews. He does a good job. This is animated. Now let's play it.
Compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. For I say unto you, that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper.
He said, none of them that will bidden will taste my supper. I will show you elsewhere in the Bible this is. So in other words, this is after the supper. He's having the supper. None of them that were bidden will taste my supper. You can play this video for yourself. I've had this video before, and I explained the whole video. But this is the part that we're concerned about.
And there went great multitudes with him.
It says there went great multitudes with him. This is after the wedding supper. Is this any place else in the Bible? Yes, it is. It's in Revelations right here. They went with him. And they shall make war against the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, and the Lord of lords, King of kings, and they that were with him were called faithful and chosen. This is the same thing as Jesus tells you. This is in Revelation 17. This is when, at the same time, when Obama meets with the 7 kings and he gets his power, we overcome him by the Lamb. And we go to the wedding supper, and this is after the wedding supper. This is Revelation 17. This is when, right here, the beast, power 4, when the beast gets his power, when the beast gets his power,
In my first term, we ended the war in Iraq. In my second term, I will win the war on Christmas.
I believe the Great Tribulation starts at Christmas. That's what I believe. And this all lines up. So in Luke right here, this is us right here. We went with him. And he explains it in Luke 14 right here. What king goes to make war against another king and not consider the cost? He's talking about himself. When he goes to war against Satan, right here, this is what he's talking about. This also points to a time in here, something else Jesus said. This is where the clues are. He said right here, salt is good, but what is salt if it's savor? Wherein shall it be seasoned? This is a first fruits offering. Okay? I will go into this in great detail in this video. Great detail. It says salt is good, but where is it when it lost its savor? Right here, seasoned. Every first fruit offering has to have salt. This is in Leviticus. I've showed this before. This is just, I'm going to go over it. So if you go to your date-to-date calculator, because in John right here, Jesus said, do you say that there's not 4 months and then come to the harvest? But the fields are white and ready to harvest. This is in John 4. Harvest is not what he was telling the disciples to do. Disciples do not spread, the disciples spread the good news, okay? So he was not talking about here, to his disciples to go into the fields. The harvest comes at the end. They were supposed to spread the good news. In John right here, it says, right here, it's very interesting because now, therefore, the feast of Passover, the hour had come, and it should depart from the world unto the Father, having loved his own which were in the world, he loved them until the end. The end of the world. It also says in Matthew right here, let both grow together until the harvest. Jesus said this. And at the time of harvest, I will say it to the reapers, gather together the tares and bind them, but gather the wheat into the barn. This is the harvest. Let them grow together till the harvest. So in John right here, he said, you say there is 4 months and then come the harvest? Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes, for the fields are ripe and ready for harvest. He's talking about Passover here, and I will go over all this in the rest of my video, but I'm just telling you. So, 4 months. This is also in Revelations. Another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice. It says, thrust in the sickle and reap, for the harvest has come, and the harvest of the earth is ripe. Harvest. This is when they grow together, as it says in Matthew. Right here. Let them grow together until the harvest. John right here, it says, you say there's 4 months to harvest? Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes, the fields are white and ready to harvest. This white right here is us. This is also in Revelation right here. It says right here, they made war against the Lamb. The Lamb shall overcome them, King of kings, Lord of lords, and they that were with him were called chosen as faithful. This is, many are called, few are chosen. This is in Matthew 22. I've showed this before. As it shows right here.
And there went great multitudes with him.
It's great multitudes is the same thing in Revelations right here as I just showed you. Make war and overcame them. This is after the wedding supper. And they that were called chosen right here. We go to the wedding supper. He says right here that none of them that were bidden shall taste my supper. You can play this for yourself.
For I say unto you that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper.
These people are in Revelation 18, and I've showed this before. It says he compels them to come in.
The Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. For I say unto you, that none of those men which were bidden shall taste.
This is Revelations 18. This is bonus. I could go on for hours. This is Revelation 18. It's Revelation 18. 18, where it says, when he says compel them to come in, it says right here, it says another voice come out of heaven crying with a loud voice, saying, don't be partakers in their sins and receive not her plagues. It says, come out of her, my people, for her sins has reached heaven. Right here. This is the second voice. Come out of her, my people. This is the same thing as Jesus was saying right here in Luke 14. They won't taste the supper. They won't be with us, as it says in Revelation 17. So, right here, this is in Luke 14. So, I will go over this in the next part of my video. It says right here about salt, because this is going to be a longer video. It says, salt is good, but have you lost its savor? Wherein shall it be seasoned? This is called about every first fruit offering has to have salt. And I will show you that. It's Leviticus chapter 2. Now, if you go 4 months, which is 120 days, 4 months, it comes to November 27th. Okay? Now, Passover's always on a full moon. Okay? Passover's always on a full moon. There's also an eclipse right here. We could be in the ark right here, as in the days of Noah. So shall it be in the coming of the Son of Man, right here. We could leave here, and 7 days later, 7 days later, right in here, the 27th, right in here, the flood could start right here. Or the first fruits offering, that's why the first fruit offering is the third day, the same day that Jesus resurrected. That's also the day of this right here. So that's why I'm watching this day right here. The 17th day of the second month, the same day as a flood, right here. So that's why I'm watching this day right here too, the 24th. First fruits, the wave sheaf offering, Jesus rose on the third day. He rose on the wave sheaf offering. That's why they call it the wave sheaf. But if you go back 4 months from Passover, this is Passover. If you go back 4 months from Passover, this is a full moon. It's March 27th in 2022. If you go back 4 months, as it says right here, it lands on November 27th. But it would have to be on a full moon. So that's why I'm watching this date right here. There's also an eclipse on this day. So I showed you these verses. Right here in Revelations. So when Jesus said this, the harvest, Jesus also said, this is in Revelation, the sickle. He also said in Matthew right here, the disciples did not harvest anybody. Jesus is going to give the command to put in the sickle. Let them grow together until the harvest, right here. Let them both grow together until the harvest. This is the harvest. So when Jesus said this in John 4:35, he was talking about the harvest. Not the disciples didn't harvest anybody. They went from house to house spreading the good news, and if nobody accepted them, they were supposed to wipe the dust off their feet and go to another house. That's what the disciples were told to do. They didn't harvest anybody. The harvest is at the end of the world. Right here. Harvest of the earth is ripe, right here. The time of harvest. Jesus said this right here on the Passover, which I will go over this because the wave sheaf offering, the first fruits, is always Passover, and I will go over that. When Moses came out of Egypt at Passover, they were supposed to have a first fruits offering, and I will go over that too in the next part of my video. So, right here. So, this is the week I'm watching. This is also in Malachi chapter 3, the first fruits, and it says you will return, just as Jesus said, just as this was right here. They went with him. This is also in Revelation 17, as I showed. So first part of my video, it's going to be a lengthy video. God bless. Hope you're all doing well. God bless. As I showed you in the first part of my video right here, Obama said he'll win the war on Christmas. I think this is the Great Tribulation he was referring to, as Jesus said right here. When a king make war against another king, not sit down and consider the cost. This is Luke 14. What's the next thing that Jesus started talking about? He's talking about who's going with him, and he talks about salt. Salt is good, but if it has lost its savor, it's good for nothing but the dung heap. It's Luke 14:34. He talked about going to war right here. Then he starts talking about salt. Right here. Salt is good. What does this mean? He was talking, and I have said this before, he was talking about Leviticus. This is in Leviticus, the first fruit offering. And if the offering shall be first fruits unto the Lord, thou shalt offer unto meat offering with, right here. This is the first fruits. It has to have salt. If it doesn't have salt, it's no good. It's good for nothing. Up here, he's coming back with fire, as I said before. But the first fruits, but they shall not burn on the altar of sweet savor. For every obligation of meat offering with salt, neither shall there be lacking in the meat offering with shall be salt for offering the first fruits unto the Lord. That's what Jesus was talking about. He was talking about this in Luke 14, right here, when he goes to war. But the first fruits will be spared. That's what he was talking about here. Good salt is good, but it's lacking. Same thing it says in Leviticus right here. It says the salt, it can't be lacking. Salt is good, but if the salt has lost its savor, where will it be seasoned? It's in Leviticus 2, right here. It says, with all thine offering thou shalt offer salt. It can't be lacking, it says. So, it also says in Leviticus right here, speak unto the children of Israel, I say unto you, when you be come out of the land which I give you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, ye shall bring sheaves of first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. This is Jesus. He's our high priest. So when it's said in Revelation, we go with him, the first fruits of the harvest go unto the priest. This is us. It's in Leviticus. So this is Passover. So as I showed you right here, the harvest, 4 months. I went back 4 months. That's in John right here. You say there are 4 months into the harvest. Behold, I say unto you, lift up your eyes, look at the fields, for they are white and ready for harvest. He was talking about this right here from Passover. As I showed you, that's in Leviticus. As the time that they came out of Egypt, right here, Leviticus 23:10. The first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. This is Jesus. Right here. We will go with him, as it says in Revelations, as it says in Luke 14. Here's it talks about salt, Leviticus, the first fruits offering. Right here. Jesus said when he goes to war, Jesus is our king. He's also our high priest. So Obama said he'd win the war on Christmas. This all lines up. This also lines up with the flood. This also lines up right here. So, do we leave here on the full moon, the eclipse? I will go over that next. This is an IPEC goat. Do we leave 3 days later, the wave sheaf offering, or do we leave on the 27th, the last day of Passover, the last day, the 8th day it would be, the 8th day? This would be 4 months from what Jesus was talking about. 4 months to harvest. As I said in the first part of my video, the disciples didn't harvest anybody. As it says in Revelations, they put down the sickle and reap. All they were doing is going from house to house spreading the good news. They were not harvesting anything. As I said in Revelations, it says, let them grow together until the harvest. That's in Matthew, as I showed before. So this is what I'm looking at. I will go over IPEC GOAT next and the eclipse. Now it says the eclipse is right here on the full moon. Like I said, this is the days we're watching. Full moon this week too. But I will show you. Says Scorpio intensifies in the eclipse season based on November 2021. It talks about Scorpio. Talks about the sun right here too. Strengthening of the year, not just the sun surges, indicates power right here. November 21st, Mars, October 31st to December 13th. Eclipses are known for omen, for a sign of gloom and doom. So this is a time we're watching. What I thought was very interesting, here's where the eclipse is over the United States. It does move, but see, it's very light here, partial. But it's right here. This is the main area. This is very interesting to me, and I'll show you why. If you notice right here in the Economist magazine cover, it shows the area where the eclipse is not. It's like a fourth of the Earth right here. Says panic over it. If you go to The Simpsons right here, this is a part of the Earth that it shows that's a hand grenade. Right here, gloom and doom. The Bible talks about a third of the part of the Earth right here. A third of the people killed with plagues and fire. Right here. Thought this was very interesting that this is the part they're showing. And then Economist magazine, this is the part that's left. This almost matches up with the eclipse. This is where the eclipse is going to be over. This would be a partial. Right here. This is where it would be seen. Eclipses are known for bad omens. So, this is high watch right here. Like I said, this whole week, could we be in the ark when destruction happens? We will see. Then, I have said this before, I thought this was a moon phase. This could be an eclipse. Right here. Also, right here at the 5-minute mark, at the 5:20, 5:25. Right there, full moon. Full moon. Also, too, down here, it shows Scorpio right there, which says Scorpio whatever, the end of the eclipse. Kind of tired. I hope you're all doing well. So yes, these are, it's very interesting that they would have It's almost like this is what's left, which exact opposite of this. This lines up with the Eclipse. This also lines up with iPad Go and Gloom and Doom right here. I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to finish up my video here. I'm going to have it out in the morning, so I hope you're all doing well. God bless you all. There you go. I didn't put out a video the last few days because I didn't really think anything was going to happen. And I knew that the 24th was here, and this lines up with Jesus saying there's 4 months until the harvest. Also, too, the Bible says, a time you think not. A time you think not, and this would be a time you think not. 4 months to harvest. God bless you all. I hope you're all doing well, and as we wait together, God bless.